we are getting this information about Saudi Arabia and Israel creating a train between the two of them. Does this have any biblical prophetic relevance? Joining me now is Dr. Rob Lindsted. Dr. Lindsted, welcome back to the broadcast. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me tonight.
So tell us about this train. What is this all about?
I think it's very interesting because you see, most people would say that because Saudi Arabia is Arab and Muslim, that they would have nothing in common with Israel. And yet, when you go to Ezekiel chapter 38, you see that Russia leads a coalition against Israel, but there are some who side with Israel and actually say, Russia, are you really coming to take a spoil? So I think three things pop out in the news to me today. Number one, the fact that the real enemy, Saudi Arabia and Israel agree that the real enemy is Iran, Russia, and the Palestinians. That's really significant. Because when you go to Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 13, here's Sheba, Dedan, and Tarish. And many people think that Dedan is the area of Saudi Arabia. Now, they're probably a less militant group, certainly less than Iran, and certainly less than the Palestinians. So why would Israel even bother with this? Well, here's why. They believe that Netanyahu went on record today saying, yeah, we're making progress, peace isn't out of the realm. Notice this, he doesn't say we're there. Doesn't say we're going to make it, but he says, at least we got some people that can negotiate and can talk. The Palestinians only make up 1 or 2% of the total population in that area. They're a real minority. And so Israel feels like if they can talk to the more moderate Arab countries and Muslim countries, they're going to say, hey, Israel has improved the life of these people dramatically. They've given them jobs. They've given them hospitals. They've given them schools. They're providing security for them. And so this is a very different scenario than Iran puts out. Iran makes it sound like Israel is destroying the Palestinians, every day. That's not true. So I think that's a major point. The next one is why is our White House pushing for this peace? I'm always suspicious when they're pushing for peace. I always feel like someone's making some money off the deal, and I think this may be another case where they've got some investments in this. And here's the thing that really worries me. It's the fact that when they pursue this and push this, that America is really left out. Notice that we're not part of the negotiating team. It's switched. America is no longer seen as strong enough to negotiate it. That's sad. We are looked at so weak defensively that we've had to step back. Just in the last 2 weeks, the leader of the Mossad came to America, talked to the White House and said, hey, here's what we're getting ready to do. The White House is so far behind that other countries in the world are passing us, even in terms of their presence in the Middle East. So that's a sad thing, but that's a reality of it. I think the other thing it says is that in order to make this compromise, if it occurs, don't hold your breath. If it occurs, Netanyahu may have to drop some of his more conservative and religious aspects of the party. Among those would be the right to the Temple Mount. And so that, I think, is another big takeaway, because sooner or later, that's got to be settled before they can have any kind of real peace.
Wow. So here's the article from the Jerusalem Post. Israel and Saudi Arabia to be linked by future railway. That's Netanyahu. Again, the Bible also seems to implicate, or imply, I should say, or indicate that when this war, Gog-Magog, as described in Ezekiel 38, breaks out, Israel is being attacked by all these nations, Syria, Russia, Iran, Turkey. But Saudi Arabia is sitting on the sideline. Up until recently, we didn't really know why. Why would Saudi Arabia be sitting on the sideline? Maybe the picture is coming more into focus now. The reason they're sitting on the sideline is because Saudi Arabia has gone into all kinds of partnerships economically with Israel.
Yeah, that's right. That I think that train was a $27 billion proposal, and it's going to link Israel and Saudi Arabia. So it looks to me like they're friendly. Here's why. Saudi Arabia doesn't trust Russia. Matter of fact, right now, Saudi Arabia is actually trying to get into a situation where they're trying to broker, I'm going to say, a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. And so Saudi Arabia has gone on record several times now being against Russia. So they see the enemy is Iran and Russia. They don't trust them. So doesn't it make sense now when Ezekiel 38 says, hey, there are some nations, some of them are Arab nations, that say, Russia, what in the world are you doing? You know what? This headline today, and it took place throughout the weekend, this headline today really even goes one step further in showing the size exactly as Ezekiel 38 and 39 say. To me, it's amazing.
Look at this. Here's a clip. Watch this clip, folks, because, again, it's about the peace deal. Here we go.
Right now, American officials are in Saudi Arabia for meetings. How close is peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia?
Well, it could be very close if the Saudis want it. It's up to them. Obviously, if we have peace with Saudi Arabia, I think it'll be a pivot of history. I think it will effectively end the Arab-Israeli conflict and enable us to end the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And I'll tell you why. Because the Palestinians who refuse to recognize Israel in any boundary are only 2% of the Arab world. If we make peace with the other 98%, the Palestinians will stop believing that one day the broad mass of the Arab world will destroy Israel or will dissolve Israel. And that, I think, will bring them into a more realistic negotiating position, too. So I think this is a great thing if we have it. We'll have tremendous economic benefits. We'll have tremendous strategic benefits. I think it'll be a blow to Iran. I think it'll be a boon to Israel and the United States and the Arab world as well.
All right, now that's very interesting. Before you came on here tonight, Rob, we played a video of Benjamin Netanyahu touring a stakeholder. It is a lab-grown meat video. You were the one that sent that to me, right?
Yes, I was.
So we played that and talked about that. That's that same thing that, Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum are promoting,
right.
Eating meat, not eating meat, getting rid of cattle, getting rid of farmers, and, eating meat will be a rare treat, they say on their website. And you'll be eating, bugs and cultured cancer cell grown meat. Well, there's Benjamin Netanyahu touring it and talking about it and eating it and saying it's delicious. We just played it a while ago. We also have a video we played of Benjamin Netanyahu saying he turned Israel over to be a lab for Pfizer. And when I look at those videos, I said to the audience in the segment with Leo, look, I am a Christian Zionist. I believe in the biblical and historical right of the Jews to the land. I support the Israeli state, but the people, the Jewish people in Israel and out of Israel. Doesn't mean I always agree with their politics. I don't agree with the liberal Jews in America, but I agree with their right biblically and historically to the land, even though many of the Jews in America don't care. In fact, one of my Jewish friends recently said, you're more Jewish than you are Gentile, House. You know more about what's going on in Israel than the average Jew in America does. They were stunned. But because I stand with the Jewish people and fight anti-Semitism, and I believe in their historical and biblical right to the land, doesn't mean I agree with everything the Israeli government ever does. I know you feel the same way. When I look at what Benjamin Netanyahu's doing with lab-grown meat, pushing that there, acting positive about it, seemingly on board with the idea of global warming, as that guy in that video was pushing, this will help end global warming, and he doesn't, discount it at all. I look at all that and I say, well, of course. Because Israel is going to need a leader that is going to agree with the New World Order, because the Antichrist is going to show up. He's going to confirm a peace treaty, which Benjamin Netanyahu was just talking about, how we can have peace in the region. The Antichrist is going to confirm that peace treaty. And then, of course, the New World Order is off to the races with the one world government, the one world system. And all is well for about 3.5 years before the Antichrist turns on the Jews. So, of course, you're going to have Israeli leaders that are pushing the Antichrist system, because at some point they're actually going to get into a deal with him, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.